Oh my god, we're about to drop some tea too, because like some of these questions, like, have feelings for my close friend. How to get out of my own head. They have an angry ex who is trying to make their life horrible. How to set boundaries with people without feeling guilty or rude or upsetting them. Tips on how to get over someone while you remain friends with them. Where do we begin?
Hey now, set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay.
Did you guys like that intro? Oh my god, new intro! Ah, new intro, new me? No, it's always been me, but now it's just a new face of Shahad Mirabella. So exciting! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shahad if you don't know me already. And for today's video, I was going to do a very cute like car vlog because I haven't done anything since I've gotten my car. So please excuse the rain, although I know it's going to be very annoying because it's going to be picked up on the audio, but I really wanted to film today and the rain is just going to be there.
Flashback.
Thank you so much. It's so good. Oh my god.
End of flashback.
And okay, lovelies, now that I have had and secured my chart time, it is time for a little segment that I want to do called Anonymous Advice. On my Instagram, here's my Instagram if you're not following me already, but for those who were following me, I put up a little poll on my story that said, give me some like scenario, situation, or circumstances that you'd like me to give you advice on. So let's get into them without further ado.
Hey guys, I'm currently editing my video and big disclaimer, I am no professional. I'm no professional at giving advice. This is just my own personal opinion and I'm just speaking from my own experience, nothing else. So please take it with a grain of salt or with a little bit of wisdom. Just my personal opinion. Once again, just a big disclaimer there. I'm no professional. Thanks.
Yeah, the first comment is tips on how to get over someone while you remain friends with them. Where do we begin? My number one tip is setting boundaries, okay? Like, I know this is cliche and like most of the things and advice I'm gonna be giving is probably cliche. It's cringy, but it's also like relatable because I understand. I was in a similar situation myself. And one of the biggest things you need to do in that situation is set boundaries because you need to really take care of yourself. You need to respect your energy and your healing and what you need to do to get over someone. And if that means you need to set boundaries physically, like not going somewhere where they are, and I'm not saying to avoid them, that's absolutely not what I'm saying, but I'm saying set boundaries so that you're protecting your energy and your healing space so that person isn't impacting you, you know? Sometimes we're afraid to set boundaries because we're so scared of hurting other people, but you can do so respectfully by being like, hey, I need time. I need to respect my own energy, my own efforts, my own healing process. That's just my energy and I hope you respect that. And that is priority number one. So biggest tips is setting boundaries and making sure that you give it time because it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to feel comfortable and ready and bubbly instantly. You just need to give it time and set those boundaries so you're able to give yourself that time to heal. Yeah. And speaking of setting boundaries, the next little message is how to set boundaries with people without feeling guilty or rude or upsetting them, if that makes sense. Yeah, of course. I completely understand that. Oh my god, let me tell you, I feel like I am a people pleaser. I am, and I know this about myself, and that is a trait of myself that I know, like, sometimes it's both a blessing and a curse. Why? Because I like to help people and it makes, like, you know, it brings about a positive, like, kind of engaging environment, but it also means that people are more likely to step on me, you know, to get to where they want. So, or use me in some ways. Anyways, long story short, leaving all behind that trauma right there, setting boundaries, it's not like people will read your mind and understand you need time away, or that you don't like hanging out with them, or that, you know, you need to do this or do that. People are not mind readers, so when it comes to setting boundaries, you need to make it clear that you want to set boundaries and you want them respected. I think one of the biggest things that people are afraid of is people won't respect their boundaries or setting their boundaries and is scared to push them away. But one of the things you need to remember is that true friends, true family members, genuine, true people who care about you will always respect your boundaries as long as you make it obvious, because like communication is so important when it comes to setting boundaries. People who respect that will respect your boundaries and will respect you. And people who don't respect that, at least you know they're not worthy enough, you know, to be your friends or to be people in your life. Next message is how to control performance anxiety while performing. Performance anxiety is absolutely normal, natural. Like, let me put that out there. Even performers who are skilled, who have been performing for so many years, still get performance anxiety. But I think one of the ways that you can, one of the ways that I've learned to kind of hone it down and like help it, I channel that anxiety into the art. So what I mean there is that instead of thinking and knowing that it's like nervousness and anxiety, I think of it as like excitement, as thrill. And so that shift in mindset helps me be able to pull on that excitement and use that into my performance, if that makes sense. So you just need to think about it in the, I guess, positive way, in that kind of mindset, and just be like, hey, instead of feeling and focusing on that nervousness, I will choose to see it as excitement, as thrill, as adrenaline, you know, and use that into a performance and project that way. So yeah, that's how I control a little bit of my nervous performance anxiety. Have feelings for my close friend. Ooh! This is a very tricky situation to be in because they're a close friend of yours, correct? But that is the thing here, because I think you need to look at the friendship that you have with this person, and ask yourself, how much do you value this friendship that you have with this person? Because most relationships are established on good friendships, solid friendships. That's the thing that keeps it, you know, going. So I think you just need to look at this objectively, the situation that you're in objectively with this person, and be like, how much do I value as a friendship, that if I told you my feelings that things didn't go the way that that I wanted it to, that I would still be okay with what happens. And I think you don't have to fear that either, because life is all about taking risks, but just like make sure you're prioritizing friendship. I think that is something that I feel like a lot of people need to be a little bit more aware of, that friendship is a good setting stone, a good foundation for something more in a relationship. And if you have that good friendship, then I feel like no matter what happens with whether you share your feelings or not, you'll at least still be able to, you know, rely on that person if that's something that you want. This next message is what to do when the dating field is absolutely atrocious and you can't meet anyone who interests you ever. Trust me, I understand you. Okay, I was joking there. The thing is, in the dating field, sometimes life is just not gonna plop someone in front of you. I've learned that too. And I think the best thing to do about that is have your options open, keep an open mind, keep an open heart, and just like be willing to like go out and like meet people, new people, and talk to them, and like discover what you like about them, what you don't, what you like to avoid, and what you'd like to bring in. And I think one of the things about this, like the dating field, is that not everyone's going to be like your perfect match, and not everyone is going to be someone that you'd want to date. So I think one of the biggest things, if you're always focusing on your love life, I think you should take that energy and also shift it into taking care of yourself, self-healing, self-love, because that's something that's like present. I know that's not what you want to hear, and that's why I'm trying to like lace this on like very lightly, but that is the foundation, because if you have the self-love and self-care, and someone else that comes in also is self-love and self-care, and they've done that healing and you've done that healing, then you guys can make, you know, a beautiful rainbow together. I don't know what I'm saying. Why did anyone watch this video? Why are you still watching? Thank you for still watching, but like, I don't know what I'm saying these days. I know it's hard, especially after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. Trust me, I know. But you just gotta keep an open mind, keep open heart, and just keep moving forward, you know? Next message is, how are you so gorgeous? Oh my god, stop it. Thank you. Stop. Do you want some chat time too? Not really a situation or circumstance that I could give advice on, but how am I so gorgeous? Let's have a little, let's dissect that. Makeup. Next question. How to have time to work and study and socialize without dying. Trust me, I understand. The best thing I could say about this, and oh my god, that's so funny, because literally I was not doing that today, and I'm literally giving you advice that I should have taken today. But long story short, time management. Make sure you have those days off, that you're looking after yourself and you're doing things that are not study work or socializing related. Yeah, that you're taking care of yourself. For example, doing hobbies that you enjoy, but like, scheduling them in. Because if you have all of these things going on at once, you're gonna think that you have no time for yourself, or you have no time to like rest or anything like that. But that's because you're not scheduling that time in. You're not making that a priority, and not feeling guilty about it. Because I feel a lot guilty when I'm not doing something and I'm not being productive. But when I schedule out that, like, okay, today afternoon I'm going to be watching Netflix and tomorrow I'm going to film a video, and I scheduled that in and I've written that down, that makes me feel less guilty for doing the things that I enjoy. And then I feel much more refreshed, and then getting into, you know, doing work or socializing or studying. Make me time a priority, and hopefully that will avoid you dying. Next message is, how do you do your makeup? Because it's flawless. Thank you, girly. Thank you. Here's my makeup for today, guys. Just very light here. I can do a little Q&A makeup session, so I could do my makeup in a Q&A. I think I did that. I've done that previously on my channel, but I could do that again if you want. Let me know if you want to see that video in the comments, or like this video so I know that you want to see that kind of video too. What to do when feelings come and go during a relationship in the span 1 year, and how to talk if possible. Always be willing to understand and hear how you feel, because a relationship is a partnership, right? The only way it can be a successful partnership is if both know what they want, both speak what they want, and they both compromise on what they want and both work towards that, if that makes sense. If you're not feeling like, hey, I don't know if I have these feelings for you anymore, you need to vocalize that. And if you're confused, you can say, hey, I don't feel this way anymore and it's confusing to me, but I need time to figure it out. If you feel like it's because you're around this person constantly and you need to take time away to like kind of understand your feelings and like be like, is this truly how I feel, or was this like a moment thing? Like, was this just a phase? Do I still feel connected and miss this person? You kind of need that time away to reflect and then be able to communicate your feelings, if that makes sense. Understand, accept your feelings, like really understand them. Don't be afraid of them, because fear does nothing good in a relationship most of the time. And understand them and then be able to communicate them, because then you both are on the same page, yeah? And how to talk about your feelings. Once again, it might be scary, but these kind of conversations are priorities in relationships. Once again, partners are not mind readers. They do not know what's going on in your mind. The only way they will know is if you communicate it. And so you shouldn't be afraid to communicate with your partner, because our partnership is where you're both equals. And what that means is the sooner you realize that you both are like equals, the sooner you'll be able to feel comfortable with sharing. And if you're in a relationship, that's what you would want, right? To share with that person, to communicate. So talking it out, it's your choice, of course, at the end of the day, but conversations like this are important in relationships. If there are stable, healthy relationships, that's how it consistently grows and constantly goes. So once again, communication is very much key in a relationship too. Next message is how to be bubbly and make friends so easily. Well. Not everyone is a bubbly person. Let's just put that out there. Everyone is their own unique person. The best thing I could say right there is to be yourself. And that is the way that you will make the most genuine and loyal friends, is to be yourself. Because you don't want to be someone else and attract other people that will be attracted to that kind of person and not really who you are. So first, you. So be who you are, true to yourself, and don't be afraid to show that and project that out there in the world. And that is the way you will attract people who are genuinely friends. Yeah. My God, these questions are crazy heated. How to get out of my own head. Overthinkers, raise your hands. Can't see my hand fully raised, but Up here, sis, up here. I am such an overthinker. I completely understand you. In my own head, almost always, scared, terrified. Once again, I'm a people pleaser. I'm always overthinking about the things I've said, the things that I could have said, the things that I've done, and whether people will hate me for them or whether they'll like me for them. And head up here, always running and like going crazy. I would say how to get out of your own head. This is something that I do, and something that I think that artists could possibly mostly relate to, is take your thoughts into your own hands. And I mean literally by writing out poetry, writing out songwriting, writing it in even a diary or a journal, writing out your thoughts, because you can't just have everything clouded in here, right? It helps me gain control again over my own thoughts when my head is like spiraling, and I let it out through that way. Like, that's my release. For me, that's what helps. Otherwise, just kind of ground yourself, right? One of the things that I just heard recently is like closing your eyes and kind of sensing with all of your senses. If you feel like you're about to like freak out and have an anxiety attack or something like that, just closing your eyes and sensing. So like, I'm smelling cha time right now. I'm in my car, I'm feeling my steering wheel, doing those things to kind of ground yourself again. Yeah, that's what I do. Those two kind of things, either expressing it or either grounding myself. How to be as sexy as you and get such a hot bestie. Oh my god, Charlotte, stop. I know this is meant to be anonymous, but like, you're so cheeky. Stop. I love you, babe. How does one escape the chains of strict parents? Oh Lord, let me tell you about this. When it comes to strict parents, you are your own person and you should be able to make your own decisions. And, you know, it's not easy to say no to your parents, but you also need to tell them that, hey, like, you brought me into this world so I can make my own decisions, right? You brought me into this world so I can become my own individual person and pursue what I am brought onto this earth to do, you know, my purpose and what my passions. Like, if that's what you want to do, then you kind of need to stand up for that, you know? We're so used to, since we're younger, to be like, say yes to everything the parents say. But as you grow older, not saying to rebel and say no, but in a way, when you're older enough to do so, standing up for your independence, standing up for your choices, and standing up for what you want to do. And so that means you are the one responsible for your own choices, right? And so just communicate that with the parents instead of rebelling. You can do that too, I'm not saying not, but also I think that will help them understand a little bit more too. Next is, how do I bring my confidence up? Speaking with people always stresses me out. How can I fix this? The best tip I can give you is being yourself and not trying to impress anyone, not trying to be someone you are not, because you need to be confident enough in you to be like, no matter what happens, as long as I am respecting who I am and being true to me, then that is the most valuable thing out of everything else, you know? Building up that confidence is kind of having confidence in yourself to be like, I know who I am, and if you don't respect that, then that is not my problem. I'm who I am, and I'm sorry if you don't align with that. Not everyone will, but that, as long as you're able to be true to you, that's what matters most, yeah? And so that's the way that I would say building up confidence happens, is being true to you. And talking with people, once again, like, why it might stress you out is because you're trying to think, oh, how can I impress them? Or how about if I say something wrong? Or how about if, you know, something happens and I make a fool of myself? Once again, like, and I'm speaking in terms that I feel this way almost always. But I always come back to, if I'm true to me, whether that is a quiet person, whether that is a loud person, whether that is, you know, whoever it is, you'll always find the people who align with you and who align with that. And that's where confidence comes from. People are always afraid that if they stand in their own energy, they'll be taken as narcissistic, or they'll be taken as someone who only cares about themselves, which is not true, because you can both be respectful of others, you can both be caring and kind and nice and considerate to others, but you can also be able to stand up for yourself, set those boundaries, and also be able to see if I am being who I am and that's offending you, or that you don't like who I am, then that's a you problem, not a me. And so that can be terrifying, but the lesson you learn there is so valuable, in that in life, the only way you can make it successfully in anything is if you're true to you. Following your passions, following who you are, what you were brought into this world to do, and nothing else. Cheers to that, guys. That got very deep, very, very quick. And now let's enjoy the rest of the drink. What would you say to a person that loves someone but they don't love or try to talk to you back like you would like them to? This is kind of sad there, but once again, it's like most of the things I've said is true to this as well, in that when it's one-sided, it's hard because you're the only one kind of like projecting here, right? You're the only one trying to put in effort and that other person isn't showing you that. This is where you set boundaries. If you like this person and still want to be friends with them, you make that decision and you communicate that. But if you like that person and they're not showing you that back, you need to set boundaries in understanding that they are not prioritizing you. That means that you, even though you might want to, should not prioritize them in that way, in that sense. So retracting, setting boundaries, coming to realize and think a little bit more as to what you want to do about the situation, whether you want to continue pursuing or you want to step back. And you never know. I think one of the best, most magical things about life is making those hard decisions, like setting boundaries, and then seeing the way that life works around you around that, and helps you realize whether you made the right choice or not. So yeah, that's my ramble, guys. And then in my DMs, someone told me about a little story of a situation that they're dealing with, and I'm not gonna out them, but thank you so much for sharing this. You'll know who you are when I read a little bit and give you the advice. It's really sad because a lot of people experience this, so I'm thankful. Thank you so much. You're so brave for sharing this. Everyone that has given me these anonymous advice questions are literally so brave. Thank you so much. So appreciative. It feels so precious, and I'm so glad that I'm able to share some advice with you. So long story short, let's get into this one. Yeah, it's just made me kind of sad to read, but let's get into it. This person says that they have an angry ex who is trying to make their life horrible and miserable, which is at school. And so this person is experiencing a lot because of that ex. Love. Let me tell you guys, everyone who is still in school, listen to me. Once you leave school, all of it disappears. I promise you, no one will care to remember. Everyone will be going off into their own life. No one will care about what happens at school. I barely remember. So much happened at school. It felt like the end of the world when things used to happen. I mean, I never said this out loud, but I used to have a crush on this guy that would also make me feel so miserable because they knew how I felt and they used that against me constantly, right? And they found it funny, and everyone else around them found it funny. And yet here I am, and I barely thought about this person since many years, right? And especially not since I've left school, because this is the real world I'm in right now, and I don't care about the past anymore and everything that's happened then. I just learned from it and I moved on. The basic thing I want to tell you is keep pushing through. It's not going to be easy, especially if this crazy ex is trying to bring you down. But let me tell you, life gets better in the sense that you move through that and you forget, and no one cares about that anymore, and the world opens up. You don't have to hang out with people you don't like. You don't have to attract people that you don't feel comfortable with. You choose. The choice is in your hands. But while you're in it, while you're in that situation at school, and this ex is trying to, you know, project all their anger on everything and make you look like the abuser and not the victim, which you explained in your scenario as feeling like they try to make themselves look like the victim while they're trying to hurt you, know that they are also hurt. It's something that no one likes to admit, but all of us are hurt in our own ways, right? And it seems that that person is projecting and trying to cause you pain because they don't know how to deal with their own pain. So one of the biggest things I tell you, do not take things personally. They can do anything to bring you down, but what they can't do is strip away or take how you react to things, how you think, how you project who you are. Like, that is something they can't change. So focus on that instead of everything else around you. The more they see you react, the more that they will do, because they will think it's funny, right? And it's not funny. It's bullying. It's hurtful. It's not good. but as long as you're able to show up and be true to you, not to let those bad negative aspects influence you, that is a show of true power, and that is a show that you are such a strong person, more than they can ever say. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you so much for sharing. And that's the video, guys. This video probably came down to like what, 20-25 minutes long, if that. I have been here for over 2 hours or so doing this video, so I hope this is a good advice that I've given you guys. It was so much fun to just talk and just to get it out there and to give you guys advice and speak from experience. I hope that this resonated with you. I would love to do more of these car sitting vlogs, and like maybe next time when the weather is more appropriate, we can like do, you know, daily vlogs and stuff, and maybe even singing in the car or something like that. I hope that that is where this future of the channel is going, just a little bit more free and loose, which is what I'm hoping for in the next phase of Shahad Mirabella. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know and we can do more of these anonymous advice videos. Remember to follow me on Instagram if you'd like to be in the next anonymous advice, and follow me for just relatable and just my personal life if you'd like on Instagram. Make sure to comment future videos you'd like to see me do. Subscribe, hit the notification button to be notified every time I post a new video. And thank you so much for watching, my lovelies. I will see you next time on my channel. Thanks again for sharing all of your situations for me to give advice on. Once again, I'm so grateful, and this is the kind of safe environment that I want to create on my channel. Safe, positive, and lovely. Love you guys. Peace, my lovelies. Bye. And a perfect way to end this day. Taco Bell.